Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this week's review. I'm looking at this, the Taylormade Sim2 Max from 2021. Now, if you've watched my channel before, you'll know that a couple of weeks ago I did a versus video of this against the QI10 model, so Taylormade's 2024 model, to basically find out who's a winner, to see if you need to buy a brand new club or if you can go for the older version. So do check the channel out for that. And also, if you enjoyed that video, remember to subscribe as well. So I've got a few more versus videos coming out soon where I put new clubs against older models, and also remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on weekly ACS golf reviews such as this one. Now, the reason why I picked this club up was not only obviously to put it against the QI10 to see, should you be buying brand new or can you go for older and get just as good as performance, but it was also because personally, right now on the brand new market, I think this is the best value driver out there. And yes, you might be questioning that again. Well, hold on, this is a 2021 driver. You are right. So it was released 3 years ago, but you can still pick this up brand new in the UK and also brand new over in the States. And the reason for that is TaylorMade knows how good this driver was. And obviously a lot of people, when it comes down to TaylorMade, aren't necessarily a fan of that carbon face. So because this was such a successful model, they've kept it running. So there you go. Now, is that a good idea by TaylorMade or potentially a bad one? We'll discuss that at the end of this video. So as always, what we're going to do is we're going to have a closer look at the club. You're going to come back here, talk about all the technology that's in it, get down the range, going to throw some figures at you, and then we'll come back here for the ACS Golf Scout and my overall thoughts and why I think this is the best value driver right now if you're looking to buy brand new. All right, guys, first things first, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, a closer look at this club. And I have to admit, I do love the old Sims. Great looking club, especially the Sim 2 with that sort of light blue ribbon around the back of it. Well, sachet that they've got going there. Really, really cool. Now, let's get into all the technology. And as I mentioned, because you can still buy this brand new, you can actually get all the spiel off TaylorMade's website still. So first things first. So Sim2 Max reconstructed so you can swing away. First, we reshaped the driver. This is obviously up from the Sim, which was the original driver in the Sim range from 2020. So first we reshaped the driver and then we reconstructed it, completely rebuilding the driver from the ground up to give you both forgiveness and distance. Go ahead, the tee box is yours, swing away. Bit like what they did with the Stealth. They brought out the Stealth and then they sort of went more sort of the forgiveness avenue with the Stealth 2, which is quite interesting. So, and I'm not going to lie, for me, that is just the Stealth 2. Or you could say the Stealth 2 looks exactly the same as that, just different color. So going on to the technology, so more power more often. So forged ring construction, which is this blue bit here, is a key to unlocking consistently long distance and optimal forgiveness with the Sim2 Max. Crafted from a lightweight and high strength aluminium that's precision milled, it unites the critical components of the driver head into a singular force, forming a driver built for forgiveness and power, designed to give you the confidence to take on any tee shot. So there you go. Moving on, high launch, high MOI. That's one thing I will say about testing this driver against the QI10 when I did the results. This definitely got in the air a lot easier than the QI10 did. So higher launch, higher MOI. We've journeyed beyond the traditional to bring you power, speed and forgiveness in a single driver. The reconstructed Sim2 Max delivers high MOI with a heavy 24 gram tungsten weight positioned at the inertia generator, so right at the back there. The TPS front weight, there's this one here, is strategically located on the sole of the club to encourage optimal launch and spin properties, delivering complete performance and max forgiveness. So they actually moved this around a little bit. So when you had the Sim 2, which is sort of the low spin, better player model, That weight moved right in the middle there. And then when you had the, I think it's the Hydral, I'm just going to quickly check because it's at the bottom of this, Max D, sorry, the Max D, which is their most forgiving model, they had the weight right down there to give that draw blast as well. So moving on, shaped for aerodynamics. Building on the breakthrough performance of the Shape in Motion, Sim2 Max features an all-new inertia generator formed by its 9-layer carbon sole. So there you go, carbon sole. The lightweight panel is strategically angled to improve aerodynamics at the most critical phase of the swing for faster club head speeds. I'm not going to lie, it does look, looking from the side on this club, I really do like the look of it. I really do. And I much prefer this over the QI10, to be honest, with this sort of position here. Again, reminds you very much of the Stealth 2, because I'm pretty sure the Stealth 2 is an exact copy of this. Now, moving on. So, the face of speed and forgiveness. The milled back face cup. So, you have your normal sort of face here, but you did have, it's basically milled behind it. So the milled back face cup works in unison with a new toe side speed injection port. I believe that is that there. Injector port to push ball speed to the threshold of the maximum legal limit. Drivers, modern day drivers, have been at the maximal legal limit for years and years and years and years, by the way. So they might be saying that now, but believe me, they have been at that sort of level for years. For me, Taylormade was 2016 with the M2. Callaway was 2017 with a Great Big Bertha Epic, and we can go on. To maximize legal limit, the iconic speed pocket, so as always in all their modern drivers and still is there, protects performance on shots struck low on the face while twist faced, which is again still in all their drivers, continues to help golfers find more fairways. So the idea of twist face is to help reduce that slice. Some people like it, some people don't. Personally, for myself, I had no issues with it, to be honest. I thought it was very, very good. Okay, now let's just go through the, and also remember, nice carbon face, well, carbon top, sorry, as always with all these drivers, again, to save weight so they can reposition it for high MOI. Now just go through the other models for you guys as well, by the way. So you had the Sim2, Sim2 Max, which is this one, very middle range driver, and then you had the Sim2 Max D, most forgiving, and also that draw bias. Unlike a lot of them, when you get your sort of better player, low spinner ones, sometimes they reduce that head size. With the Sim2, they didn't. So the Sim2, so not the Max, Sim2 was still 460cc, so the same across the board, which is the legal limit, 460cc. Face size was the same, so large on this, same face size on the Sim2 as well. The Sim D Max actually made it a little bit bigger, obviously just for a bigger target area. And then with the Sim2, low launch as you expect, Sim2 Max, this one's up mid launch, and then Sim2 Max D was the high launch. And then forgiveness, high in the Sim2, Sim2 Max and Sim D Max, they say they were both the same at the highest there. But for me, the Sim2 Max D span a little bit more, so had a little bit more forgiveness in there. Well, you could say a little bit more forgiveness, obviously more things can go wrong, but and a higher launch, it's definitely a more forgiving driver. Going into what heads you could get with this, if you could get a 9 degree and a 10.5 degree in right and left-handed, and the 12 degree, which I got because generally that's how I hit my driver. My Cobra is actually up at 12 degrees just because it helps me get the ball in the air, is right hand only. So there you go. So there is all the technology that is in this club, a lot in there as you'd expect from a tailor-made club. However, not a lot of new stuff. If you look at the QI10, you look at the Stealth 2, the Stealth, they still got that speed pocket technology in there. They've still got a big weight at the back. Unless you're talking about the Plus now, they've still got that weight there. The QI10 model that I did against had the weight exactly the same position. And the QI10 Max, which is their most forgiving model, had it down there like the Sim D Max, Sim2D Max, which is the most forgiving here. So very lot of similarities between these and the new clubs. Nothing groundbreaking apart from the carbon face between these, to be honest, and maybe a little bit more carbon on the top. So there you go. Now let's get down to the range. I'm going to throw some figures at you, and then we're going to come back here for the ACS golf scale. See you in a bit.
So here we are down the range, and let's talk about those figures. Firstly, though, I will say a little bit over the place when I was testing this club, so I definitely did really test the forgiveness of it, which, before we get to the ACS Golf Scale, was very good. Now, the figures. So, on average, I had a carry of 232 yards, total distance of 257 yards, ball speed 151 miles per hour, launch angle 11, height 73 feet, and a swing speed around 97.6 miles per hour. So, pretty much exactly where I want my clubs to be when it comes down to driver. For me, driver anything above 250, total distance is great, and ball speed above 150 again is fantastic. So overall, really happy. Now, even the longest on the day was 240 yards carry, total distance 268 yards, and a ball speed 156 miles per hour. So this club really did perform as I would expect from a Taylormade club. And let's be honest as well, these figures are very similar to the Stealth 2 that I tested and played with last year, and also the QI10, which I tested recently.
So there you go. Some great figures from this club, as you'd expect. When I did take it out against a QI10, I had a bit of a headwind into me, so it did affect the results a little bit. However, obviously on this day I did not, and I got some really good numbers with this, which, to be honest, match closely to the QI10 and the Stealth 2 as well. So there you go. Anyway, so like I said, on average 257 total yards, an average carry of 230 yards, well, 232 yards. Very happy with that. That's above my sort of average. Ball speed 151 miles per hour on average. Again, just above my average. Fantastic. Launch angle 11. A bit surprised by that, even though it's at 12 degrees. But hey ho, thought it might be a little bit higher. Height was 73, and my swing speed was 97.6 on average. So very, very happy, and longest on the day, 268 yards or 240 yards carry, 268 yards total distance, and a ball speed of 156 miles per hour. Oh, I would take that on the course any day of the week. Very, very happy with that. So without further ado, let's get into the ACS Golf Scale. Now, remember, we've got distance, feel, looks, price, and forgiveness, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. And I will give you what I gave the Stealth and the QI10 at the end of this as well, just so you can see a comparison between them on the ACS Golf Scale. So distance, 4 out of 5. Getting that longest one out there, 268, on average 257 total yards. Very, very happy with that. As I would expect, this does have some really good distance in it, even though it is not that sort of low spin bomber. They're sort of normal range. So this one, Sim2 Max here, they really did push the distance category there, without having to get into that low spin sort of category or better player driver. So very, very good. Happy with that. 4 out of 5. Feel, 3.5 out of 5. Nothing really groundbreaking. Felt really nice. Felt powerful. So yeah, nothing. Just felt really quite nice. Not as nice as say the Mizunos that I've used before, or even the Cobras. And I really like the feel of the Cobras, to be fair. But still not a bad feeling driver. So 3.5 out of 5. Looks, 4 out of 5. I really do think it is a gorgeous looking driver. I really do. Haven't gone more than that, just because maybe that could be a little bit better, the way it just sort of just white and then sunny blue. And people might not agree with me on this, but I love the alignment aid there as well. But this white top here, so obviously part of the construction there, if you top this, which a lot of people out there will, that will scuff up, can potentially scuff up quite easily, especially that it's white like that. Start getting black marks on it. So that's why I've just knocked it down a few and put it 4 out of 5. Luckily, I haven't scuffed that, thank God. But yeah, so 4 out of 5. But great looking driver. I love the head shape of it. It's not too elongated at the back, which you're finding all these clubs now going for maximum MOI, etc. They really are sort of really go further out back, which I don't like. I like a little bit more compaction when it comes down to my drivers, and this definitely fits that build. 4 out of 5. Now, forgiveness. Forgiveness, 4 out of 5. Really good forgiveness in my mind. Shortest on the day for me was 247 yards. Can't complain with that. 247 total yards. Launch was a bit lower. It was 9, but still got ball speed 151 miles per hour. Really, really happy. So yes, really good forgiveness. Well, for what this club is, really good forgiveness. So 4 out of 5. Moving on to price. Now I've given this a rating and price, and for me, I'll discuss that in a second. Second hand, when you're looking at this, eBay, they're going for sort of, I've seen them go for £215, around £270, £199, $250. So yeah, sorry, £214, that's $270. £200, which is around $250, £168, around $210. I just don't. Then secondhand market, I'm not too sure, because if you look at Golf Bidder, secondhand store over here, you obviously got golf clubs for cash as well. 2010 model, suddenly you're looking at £210 minimum, and 200, that's around $260. And then sort of look at it and go, well, hold on, the Ping G400 Max, which don't get me wrong, sounds 17, is less than that. The Ping G4, what is it? G41, I can't remember, but the model above the Ping G400 Max, I've literally forgotten the name of that driver. 425, 415, that doesn't sound right. But the model before the 425, G425, you can pick up that. And then you can just go for Cobras. I think Cobra drivers over the past few years have been fantastic. They've been long, they've had good forgiveness in them. You can pick the Aerojet up, which is actually last year's model, so 2023, for the same price, well, for less than this on Golf Bidder. You can pick the Cobra LTDX up. So one of these bad boys, CNC mill face, beautiful drivers for the same price. Well, for cheaper, actually, sorry, a lot cheaper. So really, really good there. And then you can go Gallery Rogue ST from 2022. Again, a fantastic driver. So second-hand market, there's a lot there. And if I was doing second hand, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5, because you're paying for a brilliant driver, but there are probably some more around there for the same price. Now, going on to the rating I've actually given this, and I have given this a 5 out of 5 because of the brand new price you can pick this up. You can pick this club up in the UK for £279, in the US $299. That is a lot of club for not a lot of money, compared to picking up brand new clubs, QI10, £500, $600, all the other ones as well. You can save yourself like £200, $300 by getting this, and this just performs just as well. So for that reason alone, I'm giving this a 5 out of 5 when it comes down to price. And I think that's rare. I don't normally give a 5 out of 5. But I am for this, a 5 out of 5 for price. Now, moving on between the difference between, I think, obviously my ratings, so ACS Golf Scale rating between this, the QI10, and the Stealth 2. So models after this. Distance, they've all got the same, 4 out of 10. QI10, Stealth 2, and this, 4 out of 10. Really can't differentiate them when it comes down to distance. I know in this video, the versus video, the QI10 did just pip it, but again, I just can't. There's 1 or 2 yards in it. It depends on really me rather than the actual club, I feel. Feel QI10 I've given a 4 out of 5 actually, so I thought that felt the best, while the Sim2 Max 3.5 and the Stealth 2 was 3.5 as well. Different feel though, by the way, because the Sim2 Max isn't that carbon face, so do be aware of that. Looks, gave yourself 2.5, love it. QI10, didn't really like the shape, gave it 3.5, so this beat the QI10 with a 4. Price, pretty irrelevant in my mind, but at the moment I'd say this is a 5, and the others are definitely not there, just because their new prices are higher. Forgiveness wise, 4 out of 5 across the whole board. The QI10, 4 out of 5. The Stealth 2, 4 out of 5. This, 4 out of 5. The MOI and all these clubs are relatively the same. If you actually if you find a table of the Taylormade of MOI, it goes up, drops to the Sim, goes up again for the Sim2, drops the Stealth, goes back up for the Stealth 2, and obviously now with this QI10 Max goes right up. But You've got to realize QI10 Max, yes, that has hit 10k MOI, but that is the most forgiving model. This is not the most forgiving model, and if you watch Rick Shields, you'll know this has beaten that by quite a bit. So do be aware of that. Yes, the QI10 Max is the highest MOI model ever by Taylormade, so the most forgiving, but it's not the longest by any means. Well, this is not the longest. This really isn't. Full stop. It's not the longest. All right, guys. So there you go. There's my review of the Sim2 Max Taylormade driver. You know, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like. Remember to hit that subscription button, as I mentioned earlier in this video, and also comment down below, what Taylormade driver do you use if you use one, and have you used them in the past? Let me know which is your favorite. And if you tested them, have you had the Sim2 and then gone to the Stealth 2 and then gone to QI10? Let me know if you found any differences in them, because I'd be really interested to know. So do leave those comments down there. And just to finish up, overall, as you would expect, because there's quite a cult following with the Sim2 Max, and a lot of people still use this driver, it is a very, very, very good driver. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you soon for the next ACS golf review. See you then. Bye-bye.